Welcome back everybody. This is part 41 on what if Kid Asta meets Noelle's mother. I do not own Black Clover or any of the characters in this video. They belong to their own respected authors. Chapter 50. I can't believe you didn't tell me you were dating Seeker. How long have we known each other, Koji? In my defense, you know I am a private person and so is Seeker. It just happened. Like with you and the prince, stop calling him that. He still hasn't decided on taking the throne or not. Fair. And are you sure we shouldn't be concerned with that? Someone help. Ren and Koji looked to see Asta running all over the tribe land, being chased by a threatening Noelle Silva, who was riding on a Mercury Eagle, already forming spears. Get back here, Asta. Noelle snapped. Oh, that, Ren remarked. Asta will be fine. Noelle is just getting over the fact that he's gonna be an uncle of 3 and taking it out on the one that got his baby sister pregnant, but he isn't gonna kill him. Kek. Right. Lieb snickered, eating chips from a bag as he watched his brother getting chased around the tribe land. This is even better than TV. While I slightly doubt that sentence. Should they be doing this? I mean, said sister is in labor right now. Koji remarked. Her water did not break yet, so they got time. Ren replied with a shrug. She's just going through the contract. Noelle shrieked from inside the infirmary. Tie-ins. Ren finished, unfazed by the screech. Ugh. Lieb groaned, dropping his bag of chips that Shirley had given him earlier in the day so he could cover his ears. I didn't expect it to be that loud. Oh, Noelle. Mimosa whispered softly. She'll be fine, Mimosa. Every expecting mother goes through. Before Ren could finish, Gradiel came out with a huff looking at them. Which one is the healer novice? She barked. Mimosa raised her hand up nervously at Gradiel's words. I am. Mimosa spoke up. With that, Gradiel grabbed Mimosa, making her meep. Come with me, she stated. Mimosa shrieked, being dragged into the infirmary by Gradiel. Koji raised an eyebrow at Ren. I told Gradiel about Mimosa, so she's letting her join in for the experience, Ren explained. Koji remarked, understanding. This'll be wonderful, Shirley remarked as she left her hut to come outside. Me, a great-grandmother. She looked over in the direction of Asta and Noelle. Noelle dear, stop chasing Asta. No reason to expend all of your energy now. You'll need some leftover energy for when you get to hold those little bundles of joy. Let him. You know he isn't the first brother to chase his younger sister's husband in this tribe. Ren smirked, while Koji laughed. Even Shirley couldn't help but chuckle. True, she admitted, and I've seen quite a few, here and in the Clover Kingdom. Plus fun to watch, Faye replied, landing on Ren's shoulder. Weren't you with Yuno and Belle? Ren asked her spirit. The kids still got him, Faye shrugged, motioning to the side. They looked over to see many of the tribe children circling Yuno excitedly as he sat on a wooden bench, talking to them calmly. Still funny when they all dogpiled on them. Faye grinned. Your fault for telling them who he was, Ren replied to Koji. Hey, you both should have seen that coming. Koji smirked. Of course they'd be curious and excited to meet the chief's boyfriend. Kek. Lieb laughed. Oh, did you invite Lilopika and Undine here? Shirley asked Ren. There's no way she and Undine would want to miss this, or properly meet Ren's boyfriend. Faye snickered, before he yelped to be flicked off by Ren. I sent them familiars about the news. I don't know if they'll make it or not, Ren replied. It's understandable if they don't make it, Shirley hummed. Might be for the best, especially once Noelle's water breaks and she starts. Koji smirked. Nibra, who sat on another bench next to the group, looked up from reading her book. You mean when Noelle will start screaming swear words at Asta? Nibra questioned. It wouldn't surprise me. That shouldn't be long now. I mean, she's been in labor for quite a while as is, Ren remarked. She should. Damn you, Asta. They all jumped by the howl of a shout, with the swears that followed. Didn't know she knew that many, Koji remarked, mildly impressed. Good thing Asta's not in there, Nibra remarked, going back to her book. Though I'd imagine he's more concerned for Noelle's health and well-being now, after hearing that. Which I know he is, of course. That doesn't mean that only he's concerned. Noelle and I are too, she shrugged. Though to be fair, Noelle has seen mother give 3 other births, and I have seen 2. So yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine. Gradiel will make sure of that, Ren assured. So this is why everyone's over here. Evanora hummed as she and Asir stride over to where the others were at. Well, I got in some training thanks to Asir here being my sparring partner. That's great to hear, Ren dear, Queen Asir remarked, because I can't help but fear the worst, even though I myself have given birth to 4 children. This isn't Gradiel's first time. Trust us when Ren says that Noelle is in good hands, Koji assured. Oh, I know Noelle, dear, is in good hands with Gradiel. Queen Asir smiled lightly, but as her mother, I cannot help but worry. I think we should be more concerned about how long she's gonna swear for, Faye replied. Noelle swearing? Evanora questioned, before chuckling. Oh, that's just the pain from the labor talking, which to us in the tribe is a Tuesday, Ren stated. Surely, as well as Queens Asir and Evanora laughed lightly at Ren's words while Nibra and Lieb looked at each other before choking at the words Ren had said just now. They were about to say something, but they couldn't find any words to say. Well, other than this is a Tuesday to you people? Nibra and Lieb cried out simultaneously. You think Noelle is the first new mother who screeches like that here? Koji asked, amused. Because she's not, Shirley snickered. Now where is Erd dear? Queen Asir wondered aloud. She should be outside with everyone else. Or is she staying inside her and Mimosa dear's guest hut instead for the time being? Probably at the hut right now, Koji remarked with a hum. Oh, but she'll miss this. Queen Asir pouted lightly. Though I can't force her to come out, even if I want to. She looked over to where Yuno was surrounded by the children of the tribe. She overheard one of them ask Yuno, so when are you marrying Ren? And then another asked, if you're the prince of the Spade Kingdom, and you marry Ren, that'd mean you two would become its king and queen, right? I will only become the king of the Spade Kingdom if Ren marries me, Yuno replied. Otherwise it's not happening. Me becoming the king of the Spade Kingdom. I mean, at that, everyone outside the infirmary fell silent, minus Ren. Even Noelle and Asta stopped to gap at Yuno, while Ren was blushing pure red, gaping and utterly flabbergasted. Eeha, Ren shrieked. Oh boy, you got a complicated one, Chief. Koji sweat dropped. The heck, Yuno? Asta sweat dropped. What? Yuno asked, not seeing the issue. I'm just saying. Ren quickly moved, grabbing Yuno's arm. Forgive me, children. I need to speak with Yuno alone for a moment, she quickly said. Ah, the children whined, but Ren was quick to drag Yuno away far enough so no one was around them. Okay, what the heck, Yuno? Ren hissed, red-faced. Yuno stared at Ren blankly, not fully, nor truly understanding why Ren was so flustered at the given moment. After a few minutes of silence, he spoke up, albeit with a confused tone in his voice. What? Yuno asked again. I just spoke the truth. Are you crazy? You can't just give up your birthright and the Spade Kingdom. A king they desperately need over a joke, she hissed. How am I crazy for saying such things? Yuno questioned. There's no point in me becoming king of a kingdom if I don't have a queen to always be by my side. Yuno, Ren began, but Yuno gently tugged the magic stone around her neck, making her yelp. I marked you with this, Yuno told her, while gently tugging the magic stone. Ren squeaked, her face bright red. It's true, Yuno grinned lightly. Wait a second, are you telling me right from the get-go you were planning on me being your queen for Spade? Ren gasped. Yep, Yuno smiled, and I don't regret it. Ren only looked at the smiling young magic knight in front of her speechless. A part of me should be in shock, yet at the same time, this is the one who majority of the magic knights have been calling a darn prodigy for God's sake, so I really shouldn't be surprised, Ren thought, mildly sweat dropping, but yet still, she looked down slightly which he noticed and held her gently. Are you okay, Ren? Yuno asked her, a concerned tone in his voice. You want me as your queen. I'm not what you call queen material or anything like that. She frowned slightly. Yuno just deadpan at Ren. I'm not exactly king material either, he replied. Even so, I do want you as my queen. Besides, Lady Asir and Queen Evanora will help us with how kingdoms are run by their rulers. Yuno, I'm being serious here, she sighed, rubbing her arms. A tribe is one thing, but an entire kingdom is another thing entirely. Especially such a broken one like Spade. I don't know if I can be the queen. They'll need. He frowned before hugging her tightly. It's as I said, Yuno told her. Lady Asir and Queen Evanora will help us with that. And even though a tribe is entirely different from a kingdom, you still have the leadership skills I don't yet have fully. Yuno, Ren spoke. Yuno cupped her cheeks so she would look at him and laid his forehead on hers. And before you say otherwise, it has to be Ren. No one else, he told her. We haven't been courting that long, she pointed out. True, Yuno admitted, but that's okay. We'll get plenty of time to do so once this entire mess is over and done with. Yuno, that's not what I mean. Ren gasped as Yuno picked her up and he smiled up at her while she flushed pink. Yuno nuzzled Ren's neck. Yuno, she tried to start, flustered. I love you. he spoke lovingly, making her gasp softly. The moment I saw you, Angel, Angel, she choked. Yes, smiled. Now let me. Noelle cried out again from inside the infirmary. Wanted to say something, but couldn't find the right words. The only thing that he could think of to say was this. When was Noelle sent to the infirmary? Asked Ren. I only ask because I want to spend the day with you. Is that so wrong? I know my star, but I would rather not have Noelle come for my neck if we aren't close by. Ren replied. Gradiel. Mimosa stammered. How come you're dragging me like a ragdoll? And how long has Noelle been in the infirmary? And how come you need my help with this? Easier to move, since around 5 in the morning, and this is more you observing to gain experience as a healer since you clearly haven't seen a triplet birth. Gradiel answered each question casually and easily. It's better to have a life experience than a book and scroll kind. So you shall observe how we all handle and prepare the procedure. Mimosa nodded at Gradiel's words, though this didn't fully calm Mimosa's nerves as the two soon arrived at the room Noelle has been in since, as Gradiel told her, 5 in the morning. Noelle. Mimosa whispered as she observed her cousin, whose eyes were closed. Noelle, now instead of wearing her pajamas, wore a bluish-white hospital or infirmary gown. Her silver hair that is usually tied in 2 pigtails is now worn down and spread out across the pillow of the infirmary room's bed. She's been having contractions ever since 5, but it shouldn't be long now till her water breaks and she'll be giving birth. Gradiel informed Mimosa. Oh, that's good. Mimosa smiled lightly before she frowned. Wait, shouldn't Asta be in here? As soon as Asta's name left Mimosa's lips, Noelle's eyes opened. The prideful, yet happy expression those pink eyes would bear wasn't there. Instead, it was replaced by pain, anxiety, and nervousness. Mimosa, what are you? Noelle asked. She didn't get to finish her question however as she cried out somewhat softly again as another contraction went off. Deep breaths Noelle. It won't be too long now, Gradiel instructed. Noelle closed her eyes again and did as Gradiel instructed. Mimosa, unsure of what to do or say, just watched and listened. Another contraction went off and Noelle took another deep breath, experiencing the pain, but at the same time enduring it. While Noelle continued to experience more contractions, Mimosa turned to Gradiel. I take it that Asta brought Noelle here at 5 in the morning? She asked Gradiel. Burst right in waking us all up, Gradiel answered. Mimosa, despite the situation at hand, couldn't help but laugh lightly. That sounds like Asta all right, Mimosa remarked. But then why isn't he in here? We need space for observation and checking over Noelle and the newborns, plus he'd just be a fidget mess in the corner. Gradiel deadpanned, plus Noelle grabbed him. Oh dear, Mimosa sighed. Will Asta be okay though? Instead of waiting for Gradiel to answer, Mimosa quickly checked her personal watch and saw the time. Almost 4 in the afternoon. That means that Noelle has been here for almost 12 hours, Mimosa thought. Then again, Mother did tell me once that the contractions part of the labor process can take up to 24 hours, so I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. She looked back up and turned to face Gradiel again. Oh, there's another question I want to ask you. Mimosa spoke again. Now this, may sound like a silly question but, how can you tell if the water breaks during the labor process? Noelle suddenly shrieked, clutching her sides, and one of the healers who was checking her shouted, her water just broke. The healer yelled, oh, Mimosa stammered. An apparition of Rogel appeared next to Mimosa. I came out to see how holy what. Rogel doesn't finish his sentence as he takes in what's going on. Begone Angel, we got work to do, Gradiel ordered with a snap. I can't exactly leave, Rogel answered, since I'm pacted to Noelle's grimoire, so I'll go back into it for the time being. He then does so. Mimosa blinked, then turned her attention back to her cousin, who is now crying out in pain again. Time for some experience, little flower, Gradiel replied, leading Mimosa, who gulped. Asta paced outside the infirmary nervously as the others watched him. I'm surprised Noelle stopped chasing him. Noted as he continued to watch Asta pace. Probably we've all picked up on the fact that Noelle's water broke. Belle deadpanned at her master, that in Asta wants him because he's worried. They heard from within the infirmary. This of course, made Asta more anxious. Can't say you can blame him, Koji sighed. This is his first time dealing with pregnancy, along with it being his wife and kids. Oh, I don't blame him, Queen Asir agreed. And if he rushes in there, don't. Before she can finish, Asta rushes into the infirmary. Stop him. Oh, my. He went in there so fast I couldn't finish my sentence in time. Every time, Faye remarked. That also happens every time here. Oh, they are new dads. they couldn't help it. Same with Asta. Gradiel knows that too well. Ren shrugged. And normally Asta is so composed, remarked. Well, it comes to fighting anyway. Otherwise he's as loud as ever. He shrugged. Though that could be me stating what I have seen in regards to being around Asta practically my whole life. Sue, Fabel, and even Lieb looked at him. Oh please, you'll be just like that once you and Ren have kids. Faye scoffed. WH. Faye. Ren yelled. Ha, Faye's not wrong. Belle grinned. Kek. Indeed. Lieb agreed. Keep this up and you three are gonna get the scary elf. Ren hissed, blushing red. Oh, the three meeped. How about we don't get that? Lieb remarked softly. I'd like to live for as long as possible, thanks. Pfft. Evanora couldn't help but snicker at the short conversation that played out before her. I must say, this is kind of funny. What is? Asked, turning to Diamond Kingdom Queen. Oh, the fact that these guys are teasing you and Ren about going further than dating, Evanora answered, and to be honest, I believe that it should happen. Then the four kingdoms would have rulers again. Clover has Queen Asir, Heart has Queen Lalopika, Diamond has me, and Spade would have you and Ren as its king and queen, respectively. That's only if Ren agrees to it, 'cause apparently this guy ain't doing it unless Ren comes with him. Koji deadpanned, jerking his thumb at while Ren covered her red face. And I'm sticking by that statement, retorted. If Ren doesn't come with, then I'm not taking the position of king. There'd be no meaning behind it otherwise. But okay, say, for example, that once this entire mess is over and Ren has to come back here to the tribe, you're just gonna follow her? Koji asked. Yes, answered without hesitation. They all blinked at in surprise, while Koji clapped his hands. Welp. He is the prime definition of whipped, Koji stated. Got that right, Faye snickered. Belle, Lieb, Evanora, Queen Asir, and even Shirley began to snicker in amusement. And in agreement with Koji and Faye's words, Lieb even added in a few kek-kek-es in there too. You're a magic knight of the Clover Kingdom, Ren began. So, turned to face Ren. What's your point, Ren? But your dream as Wizard King, she continued, speechless. What about it? Asked. I have to come to terms with reality sooner or later. Ren, I can't become the Wizard King of the Clover Kingdom and the King of the Spade Kingdom. One of those duties must be removed at some point. That's not what I mean, Ren quickly said. I mean, from what you told Koji, you're implying you'd actually leave your home to stay with me. Yes, that's right, nodded. Whether that'd be here in Elysia or in the Spade Kingdom, the location doesn't matter. The love we have for each other does matter. Ren blushed bright red from Yuno's words while Koji whistled. You gotta keep her, Ren, he hummed. Ren whispered softly. I'm serious, Ren, continued. I wouldn't be saying any of this if I wasn't. Ren hugged tightly, pressing her face against his chest. This, of course, surprised the raven-haired teen boy. Ren, Faye and Koji smiled knowingly at one another, watching as held Ren, who only held tightly. Oh, my, Queen Asir, Shirley, and Evanora grinned. Are you okay, Ren? Asked her, concern evident in his voice. Ren could only nod, still not looking up. Okay, good. I got worried because you weren't saying anything. Oh, she's fine, all right. Just a little choked up. Koji grinned. That, and she's surprised by how dedicated you are to her, Shirley added, smiling lightly. In all honesty, you two are adorable together. Her smile widened. All that's left is for you to marry, and I can have even more great-grandchildren. Opened his mouth to say something, but Shirley continued. I consider you my grandchild too, wanted to say something in retaliation to what Shirley told him, but he couldn't find the words, so instead, he just went silent. Shirley took silence as agreement with her logic, so she just smiled again as she watched hold Ren in his arms. They'll be having a talk later, Faye whispered to Koji. Oh indeed, Koji agreed in a mutter. You mean and Ren? Belle chimed in. If so, then yes, they will. Then they suddenly heard a shriek and a shout, followed by crying. That's one Noelle. Timur, Gradiel yelled. Oh, Queen Asir gasped. There's a pause in between so Noelle can regain strength before going again. Evanora noted, I didn't have triplets, one kid at a time, but I do understand how giving birth to more than one baby works, unless of course one of said triplets decides to. Koji began. Eek, Noelle shrieked. That's two, Gradiel shouted. Pop out, Koji finished. That too, Evanora agreed with a hum, despite her usual attitude. Now even Queen Asir began to feel anxious. Maybe I should go in there. Queen Asir spoke softly. Gradiel will only kick you out. No offense, but Asta is the one limit she's gonna allow in there, Koji replied. Like she said, just one more. I know, but Queen Asir began only to sigh softly in defeat. Yeah, you're right, Koji. I just can't help it. You're her mom. It's no surprise, Koji replied. Queen Asir glanced over at Koji and lightly smiled. True, she agreed. And thanks. Now I'm curious about something. Yuno spoke up, still holding Ren. What names do you think Asta and Noelle chose for their 3 kids? Me? Queen Asir pointed at herself, assuming Yuno was asking her. I'm not sure, though my mother might know. Shirley mused. Yes, I do remember the names Asta and Noelle dear settled on for their 3 children. And those are, Yuno asked, curiosity in his voice. Cordelia James and Asai, Shirley answered before she chuckled. It's like they knew that they'd have 2 girls and 1 boy. Asai, as in short for Asir. Koji asked. Shirley nodded. It was Noelle dear's idea to have one of them be named after her mother in some way. Queen Asir couldn't help but coo at the name choice. How cute. How sweet. Faye chirped. That is pretty cute. Belle agreed. Heh, Yuno chuckled. I can see it as cute too. Nozel, now sitting with Nibra, was about to say something, but didn't get the chance to as Noelle cried out again. Almost there, Noelle. Just one more push. Gradiel yelled. Asta, you're so dead. Noelle howled. She does know that Asta is in the same room as her, right? Belle questioned with a sweat drop after hearing Noelle's shout, hence why she shouted that. It's just the pain talking. Some women in labor do it. Koji shrugged. True. Belle mused. But it should be over soon, Faye remarked. Just as he said that, Noelle let out one last shriek and a baby's cry could be heard. And that's the last one, Noelle, Gradiel shouted. Mimosa and Asta sat next to the bed or cot Noelle laid on. Noelle's breathing had become shallow over the course of the whole ordeal. She even had trouble keeping her eyes open, closing and opening them frequently. She shook her head as she looked between Asta, Mimosa, Gradiel, and the other healers present. Asta could see tiredness written on her face, but also relief. I'm glad that it's over. Noelle spoke softly. A light smile formed on her lips. She closed her eyes again before continuing, albeit it hurt to speak. This is going to be a bright future for everyone when this entire mess is dealt with. After that, Noelle went silent, though it was clear that she wasn't dead due to her grimoire still being present on the bedside table. Asta and Mimosa could barely hear Noelle's breathing. Noelle, Asta asked, but got no response. His expression was already filled with worry. Now it became worse. Noelle, I think she passed out, Mimosa whispered. Plus, I can sense several broken ribs in her body. That must be one of the reasons. Internal bleeding could also be a factor too. Indeed, you're right. The labor, pain, and exhaustion took a toll on her. But once we heal her and she gets plenty of rest, she'll be fine, Gradiel said calmly. That's good. Asta smiled lightly in relief, but soon thereafter, his expression became stern. And I'm staying here with Noelle. Don't worry. I know. I already have one of the healers setting up a cot for you, Gradiel replied, unfazed. Thank you, Gradiel. Asta nodded. What about me? Mimosa asked timidly. We'll be going over what you witness and observe and ask me any questions as I do. Think of it like a small tutoring lesson, Gradiel replied. Oh, all right. Mimosa lightly smiled. The others will clean and tuck in your little bundles of joy for you. Don't worry. Gradiel added to Asta. All right. Asta nodded. I'm happy to hear that. Truly. He then yawned. Now time to sleep. Oh. All right, Asta. Mimosa spoke. She blinked, realizing that Asta had just fallen asleep in the cot next to Noelle's. Oh wow. He fell asleep fast. No surprise from being up since Noelle was in labor, worrying, and having his brother-in-law chase him. It's no wonder he's out like a light. Gradiel hummed. True. Mimosa agreed. In the meantime, I could heal Noelle's injuries, or at least try to. Very good. I'll give you help and pointers if needed. Gradiel nodded. Thank you, Gradiel. Mimosa smiled as her grimoire opened up and she got to work on healing Noelle's injuries and casted plant recovery magic. Princess healing flower robe on her. Which one should I heal first? I was thinking about the ribs first, but stopping the internal bleeding might be better. Or does it matter which one is first? No, you're on the right track. Internal bleeding is commonly caused by broken ribs, for they can also injure blood vessels and organs as well. Gradiel nodded. Slowly work your way with the ribs and the vessels. All right. Mimosa nodded as she did what Gradiel instructed. Noelle's body glowed a light green as Mimosa's healing magic began to do its work. I think Ren already told you, but I want to be a healer like you. Like, that's all I do. That and well, I'm not much of a fighter. Don't get me wrong, while I am a healer, I do have combat experience, Gradiel admitted, carefully motioning over Mimosa's healing. Battle-crazed fools never truly realize that the healer is the most important member of any army, party, team, or group as a whole, which is why it is also important for them to learn combat experience as well. I can understand those who cannot bring themselves to hurt others, for it is not in their nature, like it is with healing, but in order to be able to heal those that are in dire need of your help, you must be able to defend yourself, not just for your life, but for the many lives that need you as well. Well, I do know one attack spell, Mimosa admitted, and I even have a special magic item on me that reduces magic attack damage to myself should I ever be attacked. You'll show those to me later once we go over all this, Gradiel informed her. All right, Mimosa smiled. I will. 2 weeks later. Come on, Asta, you're faster than that. I'm trying. Ren easily swung slash after slash against Asta, who could only block her swift attacks. Koji, Yuno, and the spirits watching them, though Koji could feel Yuno was more admiring Ren than observing the training. Yuno hummed. Watching Ren, Asta created a sword via his star magic before casting another spell, Star Magic, Polaris. A beam of star magic fired off the tip of his substitute sword since Ren disarmed him earlier. At Ren, Queens Asir and Evanora stood to the side with Koji, Belle, Faye, Yuno, and several others, like the children of the Elysia elf tribe. Asta's doing well, Queen Asir noted. Yeah, but Ren is really putting the pressure on him. Koji mildly sweat dropped as Ren easily formed her veil to block the beam and go for the attack, and I think she might be enjoying it a little too much. I wanna spar Ren next, Yuno hummed, as if he was in a trance because of Ren. Spar or have your way with her, Faye deadpanned. Either or, we'll still need to shield the eyes of the children. Belle also deadpanned. True, Queen Asir agreed. No need to have them get scarred for life. Tell that to your foster son, Koji began, before watching, and she's got him pinned. Dang it, Asta grunted. Asta, come on, you have to be faster. For crying out loud, you can literally teleport with these stars. Ren sighed, releasing Asta. I know, Asta replied. I just don't want to teleport into places that I shouldn't. I don't really have it down. He then remembered something. Ugh, and I was able to teleport around in the cavern that Torbjorn brought Thord and me, Leopold and Lieb to perfectly fine, even took down some magically and physically enhanced golems as well. He clenched his hands into his fists. So why can't I teleport in an open area like this? Well, what was the difference? What were you exactly thinking back in that dungeon? Koji called in question, probably about running away. Yuno muttered to himself, to which Queen Asir gave him a look, then turned her attention back to Asta and Ren. Asta, hearing Koji's question, turned to face him. Well, let's see. He put a hand to his chin. I knew I had to fight those golems, and I couldn't let Lieb or Leopold get hurt, so I guess, I don't really know. It was like my body knew what to do on its own, you know, like a reflex. Kek. Lieb chuckled as he came out of Shirley's hut. It was something like that. Yeah, you just did it. It's something that can't be explained. Asta glanced over at his devil foster brother and nodded. Exactly, Asta agreed. Golems that were magically and physically enhanced. Belle chimed in. Were they crystal golems? You know something about this? Ren asked the wind spirit. Belle turned to Ren and nodded. I do, she answered, though I'm surprised Faye hasn't told you. Regardless, I'll explain. See, those crystal golems are another spirit's trademark. You mean a spirit lived there? Koji questioned. Yeah, but that particular spirit isn't one for visitors, let alone trespassers. Faye frowned, arms crossed. Though I'm surprised you found that place in the first place given it has a spell to make it well hidden. Oh, that wasn't an issue, Asta remarked. Torbjorn had talked to the spirit in advance before letting us come with him. At this, both Faye and Belle looked surprised and looked at one another. That's a first, Faye remarked. Hold on, Queen Asir chimed in, looking at Belle and Faye. I take it you two know the spirit. We do, Belle confirmed, glancing at Faye, although we haven't spoken to this particular spirit for quite some time, even before we slept in our own dungeons. Faye frowned. Why is that? Ren frowned with a raised eyebrow. It's a complicated issue, to be honest, Faye grimaced. Complicated, Evanora repeated. What do you mean? This was something that happened a very long time ago, and I mean long, and even then, she made it a point not to speak or even see other spirits. Faye sighed heavily. Oh dear, Evanora pinched the bridge of her nose. Well, what's their magic attribute? Steel magic, like Aesir's here, Belle replied, motioning to Aesir. Oh, like mine. Queen Aesir pointed at herself in slight surprise. That means I'd be compatible with Sid's spirit. Ha, don't count on it, Belle scoffed. She outright refuses to form a contract with anyone, whether they be human or elf even. But if we're to gain any sort of edge in the upcoming mess, we'll need this spirit's help, Asta pointed out. No, Belle is telling the truth. This spirit refuses to form a contract with anyone, and believe me, we have talked to this spirit about it once, but nothing any of us said changed anything. This spirit isn't someone you can easily persuade. Faye sighed. Just who is this spirit exactly, Faye? Ren questioned her spirit. Yeah, I want to know as well. Queen Aesir agreed. The wind and light spirits looked at one another and sighed. Her name is Carbuncle the Steel Spirit, Faye said. Carbuncle? Queen Aesir mused before she snapped her fingers. Ah, I remember reading about her in my house library when I was a kid. Mother read some of those books to me as well. She chuckled. Of course, that was back when I wanted to meet a real spirit. Carbuncle, huh? I recall one of the previous Heart Queens mentioning that name before. But there hadn't been any sightings of this spirit in centuries. Ren frowned thoughtfully. And that is actual accurate history right there, Belle replied, making Faye snicker. But how come this Carbuncle doesn't form a contract with anyone? Koji questioned. Yeah, that's what I want to know. Queen Aesir agreed with Koji. If I remember what I read in the House Silva library once, Lieb began, then it has something to do with what happened all those years ago, but it doesn't explain what. Hey Ren, can we go again? Asta asked the Elysia elf tribe leader. I want to get the teleporting thing down as well. Ren glanced at Asta before she nodded. Alright, we can talk about spirits later. For right now, we should focus on your teleporting, Ren replied. Now, while we spar, you have to visualize where you'd want to teleport, even in the heat of the moment. You won't have long to think of a specific or exact location. You have to be quick on your feet to think of where to go for the advantage. Right, Asta nodded, flying back up into the air, his four-leaf clover grimoire once again in front of him. After taking a breath, his lips formed into a light smile. Alright, I'm ready. Alright, here I come. Ren nodded. She moved in a flash, raising her sword to strike Asta, and gasped, quickly blocking the clash with his own sword, the one he lost earlier. Star magic. Serious, Asta declared. Using his free hand, he fired a star magic beam to push Ren away from him. Ren raised her sword to block and swat away the beam, before snapping her fingers to form blades of light and launching them at Asta with a swing of her sword. He's in the same position as last time, Yuno scoffed, crossing his arms. And here I thought that star magic, conjunction. In a flash, Asta vanished, meaning Ren's light blades pierced the air that Asta was originally. He's gone. The kids gasped while Koji's ears twitched. No, Koji gasped. Ren grew wide-eyed and quickly turned in time to block a swing from Asta. Learn something, finished. But his voice now bore a hint of surprise. Huh, guess he can learn things after all. Not bad, Asta, I guess. There you go. You can do it if you try. Ren grinned. Thanks, Ren, Asta grinned. Now let's keep going. Don't stop there. Ren smirked. Oh, I agree. Asta's grin widened. Now let's see how you handle this. Pages turned in his grimoire before it stopped, glowing a bright yellowish blue color. Star magic, Arcturus. Several beams launched out of his sword, and they flew towards Ren at incredible speed. Ren grinned, allowing her wings to form, and flew swiftly to dodge the beams while launching more light blades. Asta teleported out of the way of the light blades, a grin on his face. You thought that was it for the spell I casted earlier? Asta asked, just as he asked Ren his question. The beams that made star magic, Arcturus turned around and flew back towards Ren. Oh ho, so these follow the target. Koji smirked, Lieb chuckled, while Queen Aesir smiled. As for Evanora and they had their mouths agape in surprise. To think that boy would have something like that, Evanora noted. Ha, I must admit that I'm impressed. Let's test the extent. Ren smirked, snapping her fingers. More blades of light formed before they moved in an arc and hit directly at the beams of light in an explosion of magic. While Ren was distracted by the magic explosion of her and Asta's spells colliding, Asta used star magic, conjunction once again to teleport behind Ren once again. A triangle of star magic began to appear around the tip of Asta's sword. Star magic, third Zastarak. Asta put his free hand to face to try and get off whatever was attached to it. What the hell? Get off of me. trying and failing. He fell to the ground soon thereafter, making an impact upon hitting the ground. What? Ren blinked, quickly turning. What the? Koji gasped. What is this gray furry thing? Ah, my eyes, Asta cried out. No way, Faye gasped. It can't be. Belle blinked with a sweat drop. Is that? Evanor began. Carbuncle? Queen Aesir finished Evanor's question. Whatever it is. It's scratching Asta's eyes out. Koji deadpanned. Ren flew down and quickly got the fluff ball off of Asta's face and took a look at the creature in her hands. It was a small creature, to that of a fennec fox, but with larger ears, along with steel blue eyes, and a small red gem on its forehead, while its fluffy gray tail swished and wagged. Oh, phew, Asta breathed a sigh of relief, sitting up. I thought I was going to go blind. Why, hello, little one, Ren remarked to the creature in her hands. The fennec fox-like spirit looked at Ren. Its expression, mainly through its steel blue eyes, bore a cold expression. Hello, it replied, the voice clearly female. Are you by any chance Carbuncle? Ren asked. The spirit nodded in confirmation. I am Carbuncle's spirit of steel magic and all things metallic, Carbuncle replied. I see. Why did you attack Asta? Ren asked. Why? Carbuncle repeated. It wasn't really meant to be an attack, it just came out that way. That and well, I just got some sort of reminder of what happened a long time ago. I guess my PTSD got the better of me. She looked at Asta. I am sorry about that. Oh, it's fine. Asta blinked, surprised. Carbuncle? The steel spirit looked to see Faye and Belle flying to her and Ren, both staring at their fellow spirit in surprise. Hello, Faye. Sylph. Carbuncle greeted Faye kindly, while not so much when she spoke Belle's original name. Oi, Belle began, but Faye only stopped her to speak to Carbuncle. What are you doing out here? You haven't left your dungeon in centuries, he remarked, sounding worried. You're right, Carbuncle agreed. So why come out now? Belle asked. Carbuncle, still in Ren's arms, just scoffed at Belle. I don't need to tell you anything, Sylph, Carbuncle remarked coldly. Whoa, Yuno stepped forward. What's with the hostility? He turned to Belle. Why is she being such an ass to you? She deserves it. Don't get Carbuncle wrong, Faye sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. Carbuncle, I'm worried. Did something happen? Did something happen? Carbuncle repeated. Oh hell yeah, something happened. All the caverns I worked so hard on, all the traps I set up to guard the treasures within them, destroyed. As for who did it, let's just say that those Zagradis holes decided to have some fun with them. Nearly 2 millennia of work destroyed. She paused, then added, okay, but in all seriousness, they took incredibly valuable treasures within all the caverns and dungeons I protected, including the one I allowed Torbjorn to go to with some friends of his. They found your dungeon, Faye yelled, quickly flying and looking Carbuncle over. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? Carbuncle shook her head. They didn't hurt me, no, she replied. In fact, the one that got sent didn't even seem interested in fighting, though he certainly caused a lot of ruckus and destroyed all of my crystal golem guards so swiftly and effectively. All I could do was watch. Eventually, fearing he'd come after me, I fled. And well, here I am. Was he using bone and or spatial magic? Faye questioned. As a matter of fact, yes, Carbuncle answered. Zenon. Ren growled lowly. Did he just take all the treasure, or did he grab something specific? Faye frowned. From what I could tell, he grabbed specific ones, Carbuncle answered. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember one of them could very well help with whatever it is those Ashholes are planning. I think it was some type of monostabilizer or whatever. A monostabilizer. Faye blinked in shock. That's a rare magic tool. Ren frowned. Probably got that for Morris's experiments. Koji grunted with a scowl. Chi. Evanora growled, clenching her hands into fists. Once I find Morris, I'll kill him myself. So you're Carbuncle, eh? Lieb asked as he cautiously approached. Asta shook his head at Lieb, silently telling him to back away. Either Lieb didn't notice, or he was too interested to greet the metal spirit. Carbuncle turned to look at Lieb, and she instantly did a slash of steel magic with her paws. Lieb, now noticing, stepped back as the slash zoomed past him. Go away, devil. Carbuncle snapped. Carbuncle. No, stop, Faye quickly said, moving in front of the steel spirit. This devil isn't an enemy. Oh yeah. Carbuncle turned to face Faye, her teeth bared. Then prove it. Come on, Carbuncle. You know me. If this was an enemy, I would have killed him in a heartbeat. You know that, Faye quickly said, motioning to Ren. Same can be said for my master, whose arm you're digging your claws into. Upon hearing Faye's words, The fennec fox spirit loosened her grip on Ren's arm. Feeling ashamed, she looked up at Ren. I am sorry, she whispered. Lieb looked at Ren, then at Carbuncle, then back at Ren, unsure of what to do. Oh, it's quite all right, little one. I've handled worse, Ren assured with a kind smile. Stroking Carbuncle's ear, Carbuncle's lips formed a light smile at the affection from Ren. Her other ear perked up, now finally picking up Queen Aesir's mana. Steel magic, Carbuncle mused, now turning her attention to Queen Aesir. You're Aesir Silva, right? The new queen of the Clover Kingdom. Yes, I am, Queen Aesir answered, blinking in slight surprise. But how did you? I have my ways, Carbuncle answered, and before you even think about asking me if we can make a contract, the answer is no. Queen Aesir opened her mouth to say something, but nothing came out. Huff, huff, Carbuncle breathed. I'm sorry, Faye, I couldn't help but say that, even if she looks like, she trailed off, not even wanting to finish her own sentence. I know, believe me, I know, Faye assured gently, flying to stroke Carbuncle's fur. Salamander and I understood this long ago and still do. For now, come with me so you can rest. It's clearly not safe for you to return to that dungeon if even the Zogratizes know of it. It'll be in your best interest to stay here for the time being. Carbuncle looked back at Faye and nodded, though gave Belle one last glare before returning her attention back to Faye. All right, I'll stay in Elysia, Carbuncle replied. Thank you. Faye sighed in relief before looking up at Ren. Ren, I no need to explain. It's fine, Ren assured, setting Carbuncle down. Take her to Dryad. I'm sure she can fix up a small nest for Carbuncle for now. Thanks, Faye nodded. Come on, Carbuncle. All right, Carbuncle nodded. Lead the way to Dryad's tree. I don't remember where it is. Don't worry, I know, Faye nodded. They watched the light spirit lead Carbuncle away. As they did, Koji went to Ren, grabbed her wrist and pulled out her arm, looking over the wound Carbuncle had done accidentally, mind you, to Ren's arm. Now I get it. With her mana, she can change her entire shape into sharp metal or even blades itself, including her claws to no surprise, he remarked, looking up at his leader. You could have said something. In all honesty, it didn't really faze me compared to that attack she nearly hit on Lieb. Ren shrugged. The attack she tried to do on Lieb fazed you? Asta asked. Obviously, boy, Evanora remarked towards the ash blonde-haired boy. Lieb is our ally in this, so him getting hurt, by an angry spirit no less, would faze someone. In fact, I saw you flinch a bit when she unleashed that steel magic slash attack at him. She put a hand to her chin, though in the end, her aim wasn't directly at him. Instead, she used it as a warning shot. Not only that, I sensed emotions in that attack. Ren frowned. While there was the obvious anger, I also sensed grief as well. Grief? Koji questioned. Why would she be feeling that? Yuno genuinely asked. Ren frowned, rubbing the wound on her arm. Faye had said that the spirits also fought in the first war of the angels and devils. I wonder, she remarked. Carbuncle had also said that Lady Aesir looked like someone she knew. Lieb added before he frowned. You don't think that? We shouldn't think about it for now. Ren sighed, shaking her head. It's clear by her mana she's still a tad on edge after Zenon's little break-in on her dungeon, and this, for right now, it's best to let Faye take care of her. Right, Asta nodded. I'll go back to Shirley's hut to check up on Noelle and my kids. Before Lieb could say anything to Asta, Asta dashed off. Keck, he truly is a selfless and caring person, Lieb remarked, even if at this point he can't show it much due to how serious the situation is slowly becoming. Comfortable. Yeah, thanks. Faye watched Carbuncle curl up in the nest of woven grass, flowers, and roots that Dryad created for Carbuncle right near her tree. As Faye observed, Carbuncle then looked up at Faye. Since I've been recently informed of what's been going on, mind telling me what the Zogratizes are up to? Or at least all that you know? If I'm going to even think of rejoining the fight, I have to know what's transpired so far and up to this point. It's a long story, I can tell you that much. But in short, it's very bad. Faye frowned, sitting on the edge of the nest. I've got time to listen to this long story, Carbuncle remarked. Though to be fair, just tell me the parts that you're comfortable telling, if any. No point in holding back really, especially given the situation we're in. Faye frowned. Faye then explained everything to Carbuncle in detail, including what the Zogratis family were planning to do. Once he finished like he thought, Carbuncle was shaking in fury. Those bastards. Carbuncle clenched her paws and drew blood from her own palm due to how angry she was. They deserve no forgiveness. Believe me, you're not the only one who thinks that. Faye frowned, forming magic to heal her paws. We must kill every last one of them, Carbuncle vowed. That's what they deserve most of all. Calm yourself. He frowned. The main priority is right now getting everyone strong enough in order to defeat them. Right, Carbuncle replied. Of course, gotta get everyone trained up in order to face them. The next part she spoke softly. Even if you guys already have the strength and forces to do so already, don't think that. We'll need all the help we can get in this mess. You know that, Faye said. I know. Carbuncle sighed, putting one of her paws to her forehead. Don't stress it. I know, Faye assured. Her lips formed a light smile. Thank you, Faye, she replied. And no, I'm not sorry for how I treated Sylph. I know you're not sorry, Carbuncle. I'm not gonna pretend here. Faye shrugged. Considering what she said to me the last time I saw her, yeah, Carbuncle remarked. She had it coming. I'm not surprised. Hell, I warned her that would be the case if we ever saw you again, Faye stated. And yet, she doesn't listen. Carbuncle scoffed. Sylph never listens, unless it's to the sound of her own voice. She scowled again, then laid her head back down on the nest. Ugh, why do people have to make stupid decisions? Because at the end of the day, no one truly has a good working filter for the life of them, no matter what species they are, Faye stated, making Carbuncle snort while he grinned. Pfft, true, Carbuncle agreed. Though what does that mean for me? Am I in the wrong for feeling what I want to feel right now? She paused, then continued. I overheard them talking about me while we left to go find Dryad's tree, and one of them said that grief was on me when I unleashed my attack at that devil. Is it wrong of me to be continuing feeling grief after? She trailed off, not even sure how to finish her own sentence. Ugh, Carbuncle, we spirits go through it, not just you, so you don't have to feel bad about it, Faye assured. It's just with those like Belle. They move on quicker compared to most. Like you. Yes, Carbuncle agreed. But unlike me, you guys have had more than one master compared to my one, and well, I guess I got too attached to my one master way back then. Well, that was a different case, given circumstances back at that time. You were one of the rare lucky ones that lasted so long with your one master compared to the rest of us who lost ours so soon and so fast. Faye sighed. We didn't have the time to mourn or grieve and quickly find new masters to continue fighting. Right, Carbuncle nodded. And I suppose that's one reason why Sylph is so angry at me. Doesn't mean she should be a jerk about it, Faye sighed. Well, that's just how she is. Carbuncle sighed in exasperation. Unfortunately, which leaves me to lecture her cause no one else does it, Faye deadpanned. Carbuncle laughed in agreement at that. Soon thereafter, her expression became thoughtful. How are Undine and Salamander? Carbuncle asked her fellow spirit. Undine formed a pact with the royal family of the Heart Kingdom to be the spirit of each Queen of Heart. She's contracted with the current queen, Queen Lalopica, who is a dear friend of my master, Faye explained. Salamander was only recently woken up and currently contracted with a magic knight captain in the Clover Kingdom named Fana who originated from the Diamond Kingdom. Carbuncle hummed while in thought, nodding. All right, Carbuncle remarked. That makes sense, and I'm not just saying that due to the locations. Yeah, I know. And you already met my current master, Faye hummed. I did, yes, Carbuncle retorted. Though I don't think that I got her name. Ren Silvamillion Clover Umbra, Faye replied. She's an elf-human hybrid and leader of this elf tribe. Huh, Carbuncle mused. Well, that checks out. And why you're with her? She has light magic just like you. And because she's an elf-human hybrid, she has a second magic attribute. Which is what? Sword magic from her grandfather, Faye said and snorted. Not like she uses it much. She's insanely powerful with her light magic alone. Scaringly so. Ha. Carbuncle chuckled. I know. I saw her spar against that star magic boy. Oh no, she was going easy on the boy. Faye deadpanned. That was easy. Carbuncle blinked. Believe me, you'll know when she's being serious. Faye replied. Huh? Carbuncle mused. Not that I care. But how good does the Clover Kingdom Queen do against her then? Personally, I think she and Clover's Wizard King are the only two people who could actually last against Ren. I just don't know how long, Faye remarked. You could always time it, Carbuncle remarked. Though then again, why does the how long they last matter? Wouldn't they just lose to Ren in the end anyway? Well, it's not like they ever check that theory or anything, because those two get exhausted, and plus can't stay long. Faye shrugged. Humph, Carbuncle grunted. I suppose that's fair. She rolled over, so she was now on her side. Well, I'm going to sleep. As for whether or not I'll be helping you lot out against this threat, I'll think about it. And if I so much as hear one word from Sylph being an ass to me behind my back, you can kiss my help goodbye. Noted, and I'm sure she knows that, Faye sighed. So I'll just leave you too. Faye yelped to have a tail pull him in a fluffy coat. Mind if you stay with me for the night? Carbuncle asked him. Gonna have trouble sleeping or something? He questioned. Something like that, Carbuncle admitted. Faye hummed and patted Carbuncle's fur. You're so lucky you're gosh darn fluffy. He relented. Carbuncle happily curled up, holding Faye close. Ha, I know. Carbuncle laughed. Makes it easy to get you or the other spirits I know to stop. Well, all but Sylph, but still. I knew you took advantage of your fluffiness. Faye deadpanned. It's a dangerous weapon. Haha. But of course I'd take advantage of my fluffiness. Carbuncle grinned. Wouldn't you if you were this fluffy? I wouldn't know how to work it. I'm a literal fairy here. Faye sighed. Pfft, bet you are. Carbuncle giggled. I'll go to sleep you fluff ball. Faye scoffed. Carbuncle laughed again. Oh alright. She spoke, turning on her side again. I would say good night Faye. But it's not nighttime yet. Yeah, he hummed, finding himself on her fluffy side. I've returned, mother. Zenon. I take it that you found what I asked for. I have. Zenon stepped into the middle of the throne room of the Spade Kingdom castle and handed over what appeared to be a rare magic item. The mana stabilizer for Morris's future experiments. Among a few other things, he paused, then shrugged. I didn't have too much trouble getting them. Though those crystal golems were a pain in the ass to take out permanently. To be expected of magic dungeons really, but good work getting the magic item, Ava replied. Thank you. Zenon nodded. Though I picked up something else within that particular dungeon, there was a spirit living within it. A spirit? Ava remarked. I suppose then, that dungeon must have been its resting place before you came. If it was resting, it would have been in a scroll, or something like it, Zenon retorted. No, said spirit wasn't resting. It was active, and it had control over those damn golems. Still, I fulfilled the mission you gave me and retrieved the necessary pieces from it. If capturing or killing the spirit was part of my goal, you would have told me prior. He scowled, crossing his arms. Had you sent Dante or Vanica instead, both idiots might I add, they would have tried to fight the spirit instead of completing the main mission. All the more reason why I sent you instead of them, Ava stated, and I appreciate that. Zenon told her simply. Now, I must bring the mana stabilizer to Morris. If you come up with anything else for me to do, let me know, and I'll do it, no questions asked. And I appreciate that, Zenon told her simply. Now, I must bring the mana stabilizer to Morris. If you come up with anything else for me to do, let me know, and I'll do it, no questions asked. I'm counting on you. Iva smirked. I know, Zenon replied simply. He then turned on his heel and silently left the throne room. After Zenon left, a sinister smile slowly crept up Ava's lips. Yes, I'm counting on you indeed.